Hello there Tenno and welcome back. In today's Frame of Lore video, we will be going over the Tenno and their Warframes. We will look at some of their origin, though I'll be keeping some details back for when we cover the Old War. As always, there will be spoilers for the game, so consider yourselves warned. But with that out of the way, let's get into today's video. The Tenno, in simple terms, are us, the players. Each of us plays a Tenno with a Warframe, which is a biomechanical armour that is vastly superior to anything the Corpus or Grineer could throw at us. Though, upon our first awakening, we have no memory of the vast history we left behind. So, let's dive into that. During the height of the Orokin Empire, they were at war with the Sentients, which were one of their own creations. The advanced technology of these Sentients allowed them to adapt to anything the Orokin threw at them. After every failed attempt, the Orokin, out of desperation, turned to the Tenno. Now, the Tenno were created before the war, during the Void era. This was when a ship called the Zeraman 10-0 took a failed void jump and was lost in the space known as the Void. The ship was surprisingly recovered days later, looking completely intact, though the only survivors on board were the children, who had become changed by the Void. They now carried inexplicable powers, which led to them being feared and reviled, though of course they were still a great interest to the Orokin. The initial experiment the Orokin did on the children to harness their powers did not go exactly to plan, and led to fatal accidents. It's no surprise really that the Orokin would experiment on kids after everything we've learned about them. Nevertheless, a breakthrough was made by Margulis. Our Old War video will cover more on her, though for today we can say this breakthrough led to the process known as transference being created. This allowed the children to transfer their powers and consciousness into a specially made techno-organic humanoid battle frame, more commonly known as a Warframe. The operators of these Warframes became the Tenno, basically mashing the 10-0 together from the ship they were found on. They were taught the ways of war, and using their advanced technology, were able to quickly turn the tide against the Sentients. Now usually, I would say more about their past here and what happened, though we're going to jump to the future, as I don't want to repeat myself when I come to make the video on the Old War. So just hold on a little longer for that video if you want to know more about the war and how it ended. So, when the game starts, we revive from stasis and are guided by a mysterious figure called the Lotus. She helps guide the Tenno through many missions, from sabotaging enemy ships' installations to rescuing hostages from their captors. Throughout most of the game, the Lotus is shrouded in mystery, much like the Tenno themselves. Though soon, in an upcoming video, we will discuss her origins and the impact it has had on the Tenno as a whole. But the Tenno have another helpful ally, which we know a little bit more about, that being Ordis. He is the Cephalon aboard our orbiter, which is a spacecraft the Tenno use to get throughout the Origin system. Ordis is a little broken, but he's always there to assist the Tenno. He refers to us as the operator, and will always help with any task that we undertake. Now, we've talked about who the Tenno are and their place in the Origin system, but what are they used to fight with? The Tenno themselves have made a large array of weapons. Many of them are descendant of Orokin counterparts, though some are purely original. Whilst we've looked at the Grineer with their robust weapons, and the Corpus who value the high-tech appeal, Tenno weapons are more smooth and almost symbolic in design. They have an organic and sleek look that makes them appear somewhat predatory. On top of their weapons, the Tenno also had their schools of combat that they could utilise, these being Madurai, the school of the fighters, Vazarin, the school of protectors, Naramon, the school of tacticians, Unairu, the school of the indomitable, and Zanurig, the school of the arcane. These schools help define how a Tenno would use their powers. For example, a Tenno following the Vazarin school would prioritise protecting their fellow squadmates. We have also talked about the Parazon before, but what actually is it? A Parazon is a bladed tool utilised by Warframes for a variety of tasks. Its primary use, however, is for hacking. Not for hacking as in hacking at an enemy, but for hacking into computers and systems. Though this tool could also be used as an assassination weapon against multiple targets. The blade is concealed within the right wrist of the Warframe and comes with a tether so it can be thrown and retrieved. The Parazon is also the weapon needed to fully kill or convert a Sister of Parvos or a Kuvalich. Though with all this discussed about the Tenno, there is still one looming threat, an all-around creepy guy to quickly talk about. That being the Man in the Wall. I'll go over him more in the future, as there is still much to be learned, but the Man in the Wall is a mysterious void entity we have come to know that was involved with Tenno receiving their powers. Though his true motives may be unclear for now, it is clear he is a threat, and one that should not be underestimated. And of course, the main thing to also go over is the Warframes themselves. There are many different types of Warframe that come into play. Each one has a unique set of powers and abilities that can turn the tide of battle, from Mag being able to use magnetic powers to overwhelm her enemy, to Saren being able to poison the battlefield. Any opponent who faces a Tenno in command of a Warframe should understand the odds are heavily against them. Though that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the Tenno and the part they have played and are continuing to play in the Origin system. The next video will be our last faction video for a little bit, and then we will be getting into the Old War. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please consider liking and subscribing, as it would help the channel a lot, though the fact you've watched this video already means a lot to me. Stay safe out there, Tenno, and I'll see you all in the next one.